Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about Stephen King's newest novel adapted into film, The Dark Tower. Now, this is an interesting one because I knew nothing about this book series going into it. I knew nothing literally about it besides that there was a gunslinger. That's the only thing I heard about this. But going into The Dark Tower, I was thinking this looks really cool, and there were a lot of cool moments in the trailer that actually sold me. I was like, wow, okay, cool. We got this. It seems like a fun sci-fi action movie, and we get two amazing lead actors, Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba. I thought that this movie would be really good, and it's good because it's so bad. It's good because it's a bad movie. It's not, if you know what I mean. It's a fun bad movie. It's not well written. It's cut so weirdly. All the characters aren't developed. It feels like the book was way more detailed, and Stephen King probably gave way more explanation to everything going on in this universe. But this film, being only an hour and a half long, which is very strange nowadays with these types of movies being only an hour and a half long, I really think this would have benefited from being longer than that. Because, like I said, I don't know anything about the books, but maybe the books did elaborate more on this world and this universe building and how this universe works. Because we really don't get much in this movie, and I know this is only the first one out of apparently 7 books, if I got that right. I think 7 books in this franchise. But it seems like this really was cut down really badly, and not it didn't get characters really developed at all. It really felt like it was the bare minimum of these setups for these characters. They weren't elaborated on at all. It's just like, there's this kid who has these dreams of this dark tower, and then you've got Idris Elba as the gunslinger and Matthew McConaughey as the man in black, and they both have, like, the gunslinger is a gunslinger and the man in black is kind of a magician character. He can use magical abilities, but you don't really get much else besides that. They're very simple, all these characters, and they, for some reason, probably are not like that in the book. I feel like the book probably did develop these characters. And I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe this is not one of the Stephen King books that are particularly liked. I have no idea. I literally know nothing about the book, but like I said, I think this movie is such a bad fun movie in which it makes no sense. The plot is really weird and inconsistent with just what is going on, and these characters are not developed. But I thought it was fun. I thought the action was fun and silly, and I thought that whenever the gunslinger actually went out and started being a gunslinger, I thought it was really cool. And I thought Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black, I thought he was funny because Matthew McConaughey is playing in such a cheesy role that it seems kind of like he doesn't care. But I thought his performance was interesting. It was a fun performance, even though you can't call it technically good. At least I don't think, but I thought that it was fun with him. I thought he was a fun villain, even though he's a silly, goofy villain the way he plays this. And Idris Elba is fun as this badass character, and he really is a badass, I think, but not with a personality or development. It's just he's a badass, and that's it. That's all you get. No more development. But I thought that Idris Elba was good too, as just this badass character. I thought that Idris Elba plays that well. Like in the Thor movies, how he played Heimdall, which he didn't get as much screen time in those movies so far. I mean, we got Thor Ragnarok coming out, but in the first 2 Thor movies, he really didn't have much screen time. But I thought he was a pretty cool, badass kind of dude in that movie, guarding the universe and that. And I like how we get another badass performance from him in this, except for he's a gunslinger, and he goes out and just uses all of these, like, shoots up all these people, and that's really it. There's nothing else to it, but it was fun just seeing him do that. And like I said, Matthew McConaughey was fun because it was such a over the top role that the way that he was playing it, and I don't think that that was intentionally supposed to be that way, but I don't know, maybe it's like maybe he's portraying it exactly as Stephen King wanted him to be, but I don't know anything about the book, so I don't know if this is what he's supposed to be like. But yeah, just I thought it was just fun. I thought that even though it's not a good movie at all, it was a fun, trashy movie. It had some cool effects, but it had no story really that connected. The characters were not developed, but the action was cool, the action and visuals. So I think that for me it's kind of a mixed bag in which I can take fun over film quality sometimes. I really can. And I think that this to me is a fun piece of hot garbage. Like it really works in just being such a over the top inconsequential movie that it works for me just being a fun dumb time, but it's not like it's a good movie at all. But to me, it's definitely not worth a 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it could probably at least get a 50%. And whenever it gets to like a 19% or 20 under, I feel like that to me is. There's rarely any movie that I think ever deserves that. But I don't think this one does. Under 20%? I really don't. I think that this one at least has some filmmaking in it, some visuals, some action, just no story or character development. But the visuals and action were cool. They were fun. It it was fun, but it just feels like this really suffered from not being longer than an hour and a half, which again is so strange in this time of 2.5 hour to 3 hour movies that are action movies or superhero movies that are always longer than that. So it's funny that it's only an hour and a half. But I guess we're getting more movies, so I can't completely judge it on this one, even though sometimes you should judge a movie on its own, even though it's part of an ongoing franchise. I feel like this is not good, but I don't know if any of the sequels, if they are made, will change that. For me, at least. I don't know. And I hear that fans aren't liking this, the fans of the book. I feel like I just heard that it's different than the book is, but I don't know if that means that that they made it absolutely worse than the book or what. I don't know, but I thought that again, just for me personally, this was just fun. It was a fun, dumb time, and if you read the books and are insulted, I understand. But to me, just as a non-reader of these books, I thought that this was just a fun, dumb, trashy time that I think is a guilty pleasure. It was just really fun. It was just for me a middle of the road movie because, like I said, the visuals and the action are good, and then the story and characters are not. But I thought it was just fun. It was a fun, dumb, trashy time. Uh, so overall, just I'm I'm glad I saw it. It's not a good movie, but I'm glad I saw it because I had fun. So and sometimes that's all that matters. Sometimes you just have to have fun, and even if it's not a well-made film, just have fun with it. And that's what I felt in this movie, and I really I really was glad that I saw it, even though it's just for me a fun dumb time. So yeah, the Dark Tower was really interesting. Tell me what you guys think about down below about the Dark Tower, and thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.